Currently, it's 77 degrees at the Talk of Akron, WNIR.
Hello, how are you today? I am Pierre, your maitre d' at the new Summit County French restaurant.
Oh, we have a new French restaurant in Summit County?
I would like to show you the American portion of our menu, please.
Yes, please.
We are serving at the new Summit County restaurant.
You're good.
Thank you. The American page on the restaurant menu includes, we're going to have beef and noodle casserole, seasoned cabbage, a salad, and cookie cake.
Cookie cake?
That was last night, not tonight. The patrons will get meatloaf, mashed potatoes, onion gravy, seasoned greens. Seasoned greens? Sounds like I just crossed over to the other side of the deli. And cookie cake again, and of
leftover
course,
cookie cake.
Bread and milk. Now, where do you think they will be serving? We won't be serving any pork. We won't be serving, let's see, the bologna sandwiches will be turkey bologna. And how do you like this outstanding restaurant?
That sounds great. Give me directions.
Yeah, it is the Summit County Jail.
No.
There it is, Summit County inmates.
Jail?
That's right, they're eating better. They're eating better than we are.
They sure are. I didn't have any
At
turkey
less
bologna.
cost. The county will pay only $1.10 a meal. I'm glad to see they're so frugal, but prisoners are not supposed to eat this good.
I thought, what happened to bread and water?
That's right. That's right. Give them some bread and water, maybe a little butter, and some soup. And what was that from the Pink Panther? I got a room.
I got a room.
Do you have a room? No, sir, I don't. No, I want to know if you have a room. Oh, you're laughing, huh? All right, well, I think this is pretty good. Hey, let's beat some woman over the head and go into the Summit County Resort Jail Hotel and have some beef and noodle casserole, cabbage, salad. That'll give him gas. I don't want to be around there. And then meatloaf. I haven't had anybody make me homemade meatloaf in a long, long time. Mashed potatoes with onion gravy, seasoned greens for our ethnic friends, and of course, leftover cookie cake. Bread and milk. They can go and take seconds back to their room. Wonderful treatment we give the prisoners in America today.
These are our rapists and our murderers.
That's right. Meanwhile, in those old movies with the British Navy, you used to see Charles Lawton handing out crusts of bread with maggots in them.
And the bread would make the noise because it was so stale.
Yes.
Roll around on the tray. And,
all right, we'll just put that right over there. Do you think that Summit County is feeding their prisoners, their rapists and muggers and buggerers, and, of course, an all-time record murder rate? Glad to see the mayor holding a press conference again today to talk about our increase. We won't even talk about the nice lady who was living somewhere. I won't get specific because somebody was afraid that if I said something, the guy would come back. And the rapist was waiting in her own home for her.
Oh, sure. The guy was standing there at the foot of her bed.
Yeah. Nothing like that here. Bringing in the crooks, bringing in the crooks. We will give them meatloaf, bringing in the crooks. But okay, that's pretty good.
That's real good.
Flanagan's listening. You can borrow that. Okay, I'm going to continue with some real feisty stuff, but first a 60-second break.
I'm Bob, and this is Vern.
Hi, Bob.
And you're listening to another episode of Home Handyman. Now, today we're going to take this charming two-bedroom Cape Cod...
A fine example of American craftsmanship, Bob.
Right, and turn it into a new four-door sedan.
Bob,
yeah, Vern.
I don't think I brought the right tools. I'll go check the truck.
That's okay, Vern. For this job, we're using an equity installment loan from the Huntington. It lets you turn the equity in your home into financing for just about anything you need, from a new car to college tuition, home improvements, whatever.
Yeah, I found a blowtorch and some solder, Bob.
What's more, at the Huntington, Huntington, when you apply for a loan, you get an answer back within 24 hours.
I don't think I can do it that fast, Bob.
No, but a Huntington personal banker can. So if you want to turn your home's equity into something special, stop by or call the Huntington office nearest you. And tune in next week when Vern and I will turn this 2-bedroom bungalow into a 4-year college degree.
Oh, no, it's a tough one, Bob.
This show has been brought to you by the Huntington, an equal housing lender. Final approval subject to satisfactory property appraisal and title examination.
Well, Janet and I are back, and it looks like rain, but I don't think it's going to rain. I think we'll get some widely scattered dark clouds and a big shower underneath that, and somebody's going to say, "Where's all the rain?" And we didn't get any rain. I went jogging this morning at 6 a.m.
No way.
I went jogging this morning at 6 a.m. and said, "This is what the rest of the world does." Then I was so tired by 7:15, I wanted to have a huge breakfast and go back to bed, but said, no, that would defeat the purpose.
That's right. So you didn't go to your room.
No. I went back to my abode
Oh,
in lovely Solon.
yes.
Pool wasn't open yet.
No, it's too early. What time's
But-
the pool usually open?
About 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I could have stayed home today. Could have got food poisoning or something. And could have... No, but Larry's already filling in for Joe, so that's that. Every once in a while, you feel like playing hooky.
Oh, sure.
You see, I didn't enjoy the month of May. I was actually sick. I mean,
It's no fun playing hooky if you're sick.
I got sick of being sick. I got sick of being around my own place.
That's right.
Anyhow, so I went jogging this morning. Then I went to the new dry cleaner.
And how'd they do? Better than the old dry cleaner?
Worse.
No.
I can't get it right. Now, we do have a sponsor who I'm going to have to try, the Fussy Cleaners in Stowe. I'm going to have to try that. That's a little out of my way, but I'm going to have to try them because nobody else can get it right. Yesterday's dry cleaner, you might remember, took the shirts and crumpled them.
Yeah, you're all wrinkled yesterday.
Looked like I slept in my white shirt, right? All right, so I went to another dry cleaner today in another city. Notice how general we are, so we won't embarrass anybody. And they pressed the pants very nice and cleaned them. And I said, wait a second. The cuff is all ripped out. The hem is down. Oh, they must have snagged it. No, they didn't snag it. They pulled the whole blasted cuff down. And she said, well, that will be so much money. I said, yeah, it's going to be so much money for having it recuffed. Usually costs $5. You know, this is interesting. We got all these people yelling, I can't get a job. Gee, I don't want to work at a burger bar if I can't get a job. You know they charge $5 to hem a pair of pants? And over at Mrs. Murroy's, the quick stitch hemmer in my neighborhood, they're like waiting outside the door. Isn't it amazing?
Does she charge $5?
$5 to hem, yes. And she does it in a hurry, too. Just like that, boy. She puts it right on that bandsaw. She don't mess around. You're done. $5 out the door. Here
Next.
we go. I mean, to think that nobody today has any skills. Well, anyhow, so they gave me the dry cleaning for free today since they ripped out the hem. So it'll cost me another $5 at Mrs. Murgatroyd's Quick Stitch place. And
Does she work out of her home, or does she have her own
no,
little
she has
office?
a little, like there's 95 stores. Hers is about 1 foot wide. It's like in between the alley, they stuck her little store there. You know, nobody performs any services. My good friend Phil in Kent, Ohio, I'm giving Phil a plug. He'll do that, but
Oh, he will?
Well, I mean, he does real tailoring. He does real, that's a plug, Phil. He does real tailoring,
He
okay?
does the real stuff, huh?
You don't, but you have to be from Europe to understand that.
That's
See?
true.
See, Phil's family's from Europe. Well, my family's from Europe.
So is my family.
See, we're all from Europe, but we got sick on the boat. The point is, everybody complains they can't have a job, but nobody's ever thought about getting a little place and doing something by going into business for yourself. Nobody seems to have those skills, right? The
That's a good
butcher,
point.
the baker, the candlestick maker, the seamstress, the other things. Tailor. I mean, there are a lot of landscaping people, right? Because all their names end in a vowel. But you don't always get good landscaping either. Sometimes they go,
Well, you have to shop around.
you know, I mean, do you ever see them $50 for a cut and they're done in 7 minutes, bringing 42 trucks and 1,200 people?
And all they do is cut your
They
lawn.
cut the grass. I wasn't sure if they actually just cut it or walked on it. I mean, I once had a large yard years ago, and we had a landscaper, okay? Just like that. It's the same thing that Mrs. Murgatroyd used to do the hemming. Same machine. All right, moving on. let's get serious here.
Well,
See,
I don't think we can.
we talk about real life in America. Okay, Clarence Thomas. The reason why Metzenbaum won't like him, but will vote to nominate, will vote to give him his job, rather. And the reason why Joe Biden and Ted Kennedy won't like him, because he worked his way through religious school and nobody gave him nothing.
Meaning what?
Meaning he doesn't believe in people being handed things. Clarence Thomas, Mr. Bush's nominee, the outstanding black gentleman who was born into poverty, but worked his way into Catholic school and then to Holy Cross, and I believe he went to other fine institutions as well after that. He worked for a living. He worked hard. And, of course, that's what the liberals, oops, I'm not allowed to say that today. That's what Kennedy and Metzenbaum and Biden, they don't like a man in this position. The black man shouldn't have to have worked so hard, because then he'll blame others for not working quite as hard.
Oh, I see your point.
So now they will probably vote, but they're going to give him a rough time. Now, I've already heard this. I've heard this 10 different newscasts. Clarence Thomas, nominated by Bush, will probably be given a very rough time before they okay him for the Supreme Court. Well, if everybody knows he's going to be okayed, why do they have to give him a rough time? To prove that they're manly or something?
To prove that they're working.
To prove that they're working. Oh, that's a good
We
zinger.
can't just say, well, okay.
Well, sometimes you can take one of those. They do this like in Youngstown. You take a mirror and you put it under their nose, and if it sort of steams up that they're breathing, then you know the Senate is actually working. See? Oh, yeah, that's right, Guido. I think this one's still alive. Yeah, that's Kennedy. Okay. So I like Clarence Thomas, who has been nominated by Bush because he went to Catholic school and worked and worked and worked and got scholarships. Could have gone to Jewish school, didn't matter to me. Could have gone to Baptist school, didn't matter to me. Any school, he worked, got scholarships, doesn't believe in getting something for nothing.
Good for Mr. Thomas.
Liberals will hate him because they don't believe in working hard for a living. Must have been a liberal who hemmed my slacks. Just kidding. All right, now let's come out on the side of the liberals.
Okay.
Wow, Howard, boy, are you balanced today. Now, we saw the trashy editorial cartoon by Mr. Bach the other day, yet the one from the Palm Beach Post, which is reprinted in today's Beacon, this is a good liberal editorial cartoon. This is a good one. I like it because it actually says something really meaty and tells the truth. What we have is a closed-up inner-city children's health clinic. It says prenatal care, immunization, AIDS counseling, and it says closed due to cut in federal funds. And over here is a black woman, very pregnant, who says, but George Bush is the one who insisted I have this baby, because Mr. Bush doesn't believe in abortion. Now, there is a real zinger, and the truth. If Mr. Bush and his conservative friends who don't believe in abortion are going to tell women to have the baby, then the federal government had better be prepared to keep the inner city children's health clinics and the health clinics open to these people with federal funding. That's a real good zinger, and I'd like some feedback on that editorial cartoon, because I'm taking the liberal view on that one.
How balanced you are today, Howard.
Every 6 months. Okay. Yes, I'm fair. Was Wayne Jones all wet?
We hope not.
You stand outside this afternoon, he might
He could be.
Wayne Jones, personal friend of mine, would never say anything against the man. He's a fine man. Got a nice family, too.
Great family.
State Representative Wayne Jones is a good guy. So we won't ask the question, was Wayne Jones all wet? Was Wayne Jones misinformed?
Perhaps.
Who gave him the information? The question is, supposedly, and we won't name any names, but supposedly Mr. Wayne Jones got the information from the source. And the source allegedly told Mr. Jones a couple of weeks ago that the deal for the Gateway was dead. Then yours truly, trusting that source of information, Oh, foolish one. Repeated on the air, according to our sources, the Cavs version of the Gateway was dead. Oh, foolish me. Never trust your source of information, right?
Wishful thinking, maybe.
However, it would have appeared in a world where nothing's a surprise, right? And, I can't make them do this, and I can't stop them from doing that, because business will do what business wants to do, right?
Exactly.
Like you can even go to Nashville.
If you wanted to.
But you can't get any dolphin there in a restaurant. Anyway, Japanese eat dolphin.
I know.
And then they eat it with greens. Anyhow, seasoned greens. So it would have appeared, according to what I saw and heard yesterday in the media, that the Cavaliers literally were running to downtown Cleveland, or at least briskly walking. Right?
With smiles on their faces.
Yes.
Happily.
Between the two potential clients, it would have appeared. Now, maybe I misinterpreted, because I can never guess what the Cavs will do. They are their own person, right?
Right.
Or persons. But it would have appeared that the Cavs agreed to pay any cost overruns to the arena, which some people ask why. But, hey, business is business. And they seem to have had a deal with Gateway, thus contradicting the statements by Mr. Wayne Jones or the information provided to him, and it was the seemingly snidely Indians that put a monkey wrench into the whole deal, saying, we want the stadium to take priority over the arena, and we want to make sure if you're building both at the same time, we want you to pay for the cost overruns on the stadium. Oops.
Pretty tough.
So that would appear is what happened. The Cavs said, yes, we will pay. I believe they said. I believe. So I don't make.
It sounds like.
It sounded like the Cavs said, we'll pay the cost overruns at the arena. And the Gateway people said, Indians, will you pay the cost overruns at the stadium? Said,
Cavs will.
However, as Dick Fagler said, it's in how they negotiate with the two people at the same time. They're never in the same room together. There must be some, am I taking an educated guess, bad blood or jealousy that the Indians may have of the Cavs? I don't know.
Why would you say that?
Well, the Cavs are successful. I mean, okay, they didn't have a winning season, but boy, they make money and draw and things like that.
Very loyal fans.
Yeah, whereas the Indians don't seem to be successful, but they do draw their share of fans. So it would appear the Indians scuttled the Gateway due to some kind of jealousy over the Cavs. And now the Indians, as of yesterday, was saying, now this could be changing as I speak.
They're talking right now.
Could be changing as I speak. The Indians, we want the stadium first, and then if you have any money left over, go build your arena. So there. That was news as of an hour ago, and as we speak right now, they're talking.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Michael Landon is dead. There is no cure for cancer. And I'm going to use an old Jewish mother-type expression. And Italians say this, too. Now, you should not be offended by this expression. This is something your aunt in Yugoslavia may say. Ready?
Yeah.
It's sort of risque, but it's not dirty.
Okay.
They've been cocking around trying to find a cure for cancer for decades. Now, that's the way people
something
talk.
Your aunt said?
Yes, all the time.
Your aunt said that?
Yes, but you have been misinterpreted. That word is not the dirty word of today. That's an old word.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I use it in the old archaic sense. They've been messing around for all these years trying to find a cure for cancer, and they didn't do diddly squat to save this man's life. In fact, they made him miserable. All the chemotherapy they gave him made him...
Did you see Lyle Alzado Saturday night?
I hate
He was on
he has a brain tumor.
He talk about something making you look horrible. He looks like half of himself.
Is that right?
I will not be surprised if he is our next victim here.
Lyle Alzado supposedly has inoperable brain cancer. Oh, boy.
He looks just...
And the last time I saw Johnny Cash... somebody said Johnny Cash is coming to town. Well, the Johnny Cash I saw in a commercial about a month or two ago, he didn't look like he was going anywhere.
Is he sick?
Johnny Cash looked terrible. Ooh.
But he hasn't publicly said anything about him being sick, has he?
Because I saw a repeat broadcast of Johnny Cash, and it was Couldn't have been very long ago because it was Michael Dukakis and his wife looking real good. Kitty sitting in the front row with the Boston Pops Orchestra. No, I'm not making a joke.
I'm not saying anything.
They
I'm
look
listening to
real.
you.
Must have been kind of current because they looked fine. And Johnny Cash was doing narration. Must have been a last 4th of July or the 4th of July. I'm going to guess it was last 4th of July or the 4th of July before that. Looking real robust in his, gambler's outfits from the steamboats. Oh, he looked fine, as Andy Griffith would say. He looked fine. But he didn't look fine the last time I saw him.
Oh, that's too bad.
Now, I am aware that you have a friend who told you to pass along some information because you have a friend who doesn't or didn't like Michael Landon. How could anybody not like Michael Landon?
Well, my friend says that he was a phony, that she never really appreciated him. She felt he was a bit arrogant because one time, I guess, on one of the talk shows, his secretary was on claiming that he was trying to charge people for autographs or something ridiculous like that.
And where would he get such a stupid idea like that?
It was on
Pete
one
Rose.
of those. No.
Pete Rose started that. Yeah, Pete Rose
No,
was.
but Pete Rose didn't say it. I don't know who said it.
Pete
or
Rose
what.
was the first person to charge for autographs.
Well,
The point is, he was married how many times?
4, maybe 5. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, first of all, I thought most of his children were adopted like Rogers. Is that incorrect?
I wasn't aware of that.
His,
I thought
his first child, I thought he adopted as a single parent.
I
He
don't
took
know.
in some
I have no idea.
took in
I
some
don't-
teenage boy who had a rough life, and he did have what, about 7 or 8 or 9 children of his
9
own.
kids.
Oh, well, so he was like Roy Rogers. Anybody who couldn't stay married to Michael Landon would be something wrong with that person. Of course, then again, I could say the same thing about Martina Navratilova, which is a subject we're going to save for after lunch.
Oh, you're saving that
I'm
one,
going to
are you?
save my Martina subject.
okay.
We
I
have,
don't know. There's
we have
just
the
a lot of-
gossip story on Martina. Should her palimony friend get anything? And I, of course, think not, because I'm a personal friend of Martina's.
Oh, that's right.
I used to announce for her.
Yeah, she sent me that quite
Martina
often.
Navratilova and Mariana Simonescu. Anyhow, so your friend thought that,
That he's a phony. That he,
Michael
he was
Landon
phony,
was a phony,
arrogant,
huh?
Just
A man
she pretty
who-
much called him a baby machine.
A baby machine? Your friend called